Oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just take a moment and connect. I always like to connect at the start of a session
Mm-hmm.
and get present, for us both to get present to what is in this moment. So just closing your eyes and taking a nice deep breath in through your nose. Fill your lungs fully. And then as you exhale, just let go everything that came before this moment. Oh, yeah. And then with your next conscious breath, just fill your lungs completely, slowly, deliciously, feeling the spaces that are open and free and the spaces that might be a little hitchy and tight. And just when you're full exhaling and releasing everything that's going to come after this, letting go and coming fully present in your body in this moment in space and time. Getting fully present for you, with you, as you. Just releasing a grounding column into the earth about the width of your hips, down through the floor, through your legs, into deep into Mother Earth and feeling her support under you. This grounding column is hollow and it serves as a conduit or a pathway to release everything that's ripe and ready to fall away. And the gentle electromagnetic pull of the earth will keep this force gently pulling, suctioning. And it will stay in place as we talk, as we go through our session. You don't have to think about it. It'll be there doing its work for you. And then opening your crown, receiving this beautiful column of golden light from the heavens above. See it coming down around your body into your crown. It contains the perfect set of frequencies for you today. Cleansing and clearing your auric field around your body, washing away any energetic debris that you picked up as you walk through life. Coming into your crown, it activates your nervous system, relaxes it, allowing your mind to surrender to the wisdom of your soul. Opening your third eye between your eyebrows and activating your inner sight, your intuition, allowing you to see through the eyes of clarity and wisdom and love, abundance, possibilities. As it comes down and around, it opens your ears, allowing you to hear clearly the voice of truth. As it comes down into your mouth, relaxing your tongue, opening the back of your throat, down through your avenue of expression into your throat chakra at the base of your neck, allowing you to speak your truth with love, boldly, unapologetically, freely. As it flows down into your neck and shoulders, releasing any tension, down into your arms, to your hands, opening your palm chakras, allowing you to give and receive freely. As it flows down your spine, feel it strengthening and lengthening, allowing you to stand powerfully, upright in your strength and your power. Feel it throwing into your chest, opening your higher heart chakra right at the top of the breastbone, really connecting you to your self-love. As it flows down into your heart, opening your connections with others, with the world, activating your blueprint for your highest possibility, your greatest joy and fulfillment. As it flows down into your stomach, your liver, your intestines, your spleen, your pancreas, your kidneys at the back, really just soaking into all of your major organs, your lungs, your heart, activating them, balancing them, flowing into your solar plexus, where just below where the rib cage meets in the front of your body, lighting up your third chakra, which is the seat of your personal power, flowing down and around and through your core, deep into your belly, under your navel, activating your second chakra, your sensuality, your creativity, your money, feeling it flow freely down and around, juicy into the depths of your pelvic floor, activating your connection to your root chakra, your family of origin, your foundation, your connection with your tribe, with the earth, with the support that is here for you and the nourishment flowing through your hips and your legs, strong, courageous, anchored, and yet agile, nimble, flexible, able to bend, run, jump, move forward in your life with ease and grace, and down through your ankles and your feet and back down into the earth, feeling that you are in this moment the connection between heaven and earth, and allowing yourself to light up from the inside out, and allowing this energy that you are, this bright light that you are, to radiate so powerfully it can't help but seep out through your pores, forming and creating a beautiful orb of golden light around you, a bubble of high vibration that protects you. It's you, the environment, it's the water in which you swim. It doesn't matter what else is going on in the world. You are capable of defining and refining your own world. And it does not inhibit connection. As a matter of fact, it serves to attract other high vibrational energies and frequencies. With effortless, you become a magnet for light and for ease and grace and joy and laughter and fun and connection. Breathing it in and allowing it to be this easy. As you just breathe it in, just notice how it feels. And then with intention, bringing your awareness back to your heart center, the center of your chest, and just slowing your breathing down and breathing in and out of your heart center. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. And with this intentional presence and connection with your heart, just asking what wants to be acknowledged, celebrated, discovered, surrendered, released, activated, expanded. And just noticing what comes into your awareness as you ask. Noticing thoughts, sensations in your body, memories, emotions, smells, sounds, tastes. Whatever pops into your awareness, in whatever way it pops in, just honor and acknowledge that. And whenever you're ready, letting me know, staying within, just letting me know what you're aware of.
I am mostly aware actually of a feeling of lightness,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily light, but a feeling of being unburdened or unshackled, and a feeling of um, calmness, like the storm has abated.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. That like there's no struggle
Mm-hmm.
right now. There's no struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'm just being still,
Mm-hmm.
and um, just an overall feeling of peace,
Mm-hmm.
which is it sounds like a relief,
Mm-hmm.
sense of relief.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting the word you use, it sounds like. So it's almost like you're hearing yourself saying this, right? And you're the
Mhm.
sounding. And are you so check in and see what you're feeling?
But I'm feeling more peaceful,
Mm-hmm.
feeling less anxiety, um, feeling a sense of calmness.
Yeah, beautiful.
Um,
So what is the part of you that is observing it, that is listening? So I just want you to give me, as we work together, just give me whatever pops into your mind, no matter how crazy it might sound. Might even if it feels like you're making it up, it doesn't matter, right? So I'll just a game we're playing anyway, right? So what's the part of you that's hearing you speak, as opposed to the part of you that is feeling the sensations and the emotions in the body? And where would that part of you sit in relation to you?
um, the part of me that's hearing me speak is probably the me that feels very buried.
Mm,
I'm trying to encourage that Gail
mm-hmm,
um, to come forward.
mm.
No, Helen, there's an amazing glow of light that's just come over your face. I
Ah,
don't know, the sunlight from the window.
through the window. Yeah, that's interesting. Thanks for bringing it to my awareness because I'm busy watching you, not me. Ah, that's cool. Awesome. Let's see. Do that then. Beautiful. So the me that feels buried, that I'd like to encourage her to come forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is watching. And what would it take for that part of you to feel welcome, safe? What does she need in order to come out and play?
Um, I think she needs to not feel so alone because she feels scared
Mm,
and very overwhelmed,
mm, yeah,
very overwhelmed. And she wants to come forward, but she's probably thinking, "Oh, but how will I cope with everything?"
mm,
Because
mhm,
there's just a lot happening.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So support and community, I think, even
Mm,
if it's a community of one or two, it's just knowing that she's not alone,
yeah, yeah,
because there's a feeling of deep aloneness.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Perfect. Does this part of you have a name?
Just Gail.
Okay, great. And So I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes for a moment and be first and foremost a safe space for her. Be a space of support and connection, because the community is about connection. And just kind of get a sense of where in your body she is hiding.
Mm.
And just trust. And if you can't find her, then it's okay. You know, if she's under the bed, you can still talk to her. She's in the
My
closet.
goodness. I have a feeling like she's behind, almost like behind a door.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that door is
So we don't need to analyze the door. We can just go, we can just trust whatever you get, right? Because it's like, okay, she's behind the
like she's behind some kind of door,
yeah.
but I'm trying to figure out if she's in my heart, buried deep.
Mm.
But then I don't know, because on the other hand, I have a feeling of like in my gut, like she's deep, deep down. So
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So just breathe and imagine that. Do you remember those little slinky, those glasses with slinky eyeballs? They were kind of fun kind of things it looked like almost like the eyeballs were popping out. We used to play with as children. Imagine that your eyes have that ability to like just pop, but we're going to pop them back. Just let them pop back, and so that you can start looking down into your body. And imagine that your eyes have dropped back and they're looking down and they're moving down. They're looking down through your neck. And they're looking down in your chest area. And they're looking down around your heart. And they're looking down through your stomach area. And they're looking down. They're shining the light as they're looking down. It's like they have these lights that they're able to see into these places. And you're just shining around and looking behind your stomach, behind your liver, around your kidneys, looking down and around through the folds in your intestines, down deep down into your gut, all the way down. And it's like you're playing hide and seek with this beautiful child in you. Come out wherever you are. I want to play with you. I want to hug you. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hold your hand, and I want to hear about what matters to you and what lights you up. And I want to hear your wisdom, and I want to hear your fears, and I want to be your friend and your protector and your guide. I want to love you. I want to get to know you. Would you be willing? Just notice whatever you notice. Let me know what you're aware of.
so right now I I still have a feeling like that she's very deep
That's
in my
okay.
gut, and but I am also feeling very vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
and very very unprotected.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sharing that feeling also. And when you spoke about feeling protected,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately thought back to when my father died.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I've ever quite recovered from the sense of vulnerability
Yeah.
that I felt at that time,
Yeah.
because I always knew that I had a cheerleader
Mm-hmm.
and a sounding board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Just breathe and be willing to feel all of it, whatever the feelings are, the emotions are, just breathing and allowing. This is part of learning to be a safe space for this part of you.
right.
Huh?
Mhm.
And so just
Um,
be in it. Don't rush through the feelings. Just hold space for it. Just take a few moments and just feel it. And that's a big insight. I don't know that I've ever recovered from that sense of loss. So just hold space and breathe in this moment with that part of you that where it's still so raw all these years later. And if we don't judge it, we just hold space for it. It's just interesting how tender that space is.
mm.
So just let it be tender. Let it be tender.
I think there are times when you think on an intellectual level that you've gotten over something, but your heart feels something else. And even yesterday was a tough day for me, and I was here with someone helping me, and there was a penny on the ground, and I had read somewhere that sometimes the spirit can present themselves. It can be something like a coin or a penny, just out of nowhere. And I looked at the penny, and I felt kind of crazy, and I said, "Oh, my father is here. I'm not alone." And I said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you just for being here with me. I'm having a tough day."
Mm-hmm.
And I felt a little crazy when I said it. I just smiled. I laughed at myself and I said, "Oh, you're going crazy."
Mm-hmm.
um, but even though there are times, um, when I still feel that just, it's almost as if I'm out in the open somewhere, when Scud missiles can come across at you,
Mm-hmm.
and there isn't someone to even deflect or to try to give you, like a general, and the general is telling the soldiers, no move right, no move left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at 59, do I need to hear that voice that's still giving me guidance, or should I know it by now? Should I know which move to make by now? So sometimes I feel like, oh well, that's not really great that you've reached this point in your life and you're still needing or yearning for some other guidance or another layer of protection.
Does that voice that says, should, the voice of, what is it, the voice of judgment? Is it the voice of doubt? What is it the voice of?
I think it's judgment, because it's a feeling of inadequacy, because you're like, how come you can't just like juggle all the balls, in the air? So they're 10 today, there might be 15 tomorrow. Come on, baby girl, get it together. You need to be able to juggle all the balls. And I think what happens is that you think you've kind of attained adulthood and wisdom and mastery when you can juggle all of them by yourself.
I'm going to invite you to own it by saying I instead of you. I know it's not conscious. That's why I'm bringing it to your awareness, right? And when we go into that, go into third person, speaking about ourselves, but in the third person, it's a way of kind of distancing, putting a little distance between us.
Right.
And in this moment, I want you to know that you are so safe. You are so held that it is safe for you to feel your feelings fully. I'm going to offer you something and you can tell me if it lands as true or not, because you always know truth. You know, there's a part of you that always recognizes truth. So when you, this part of you that you tuck away, you said something really profound. You said intellectually, you think you went into third person right then. You said you think that you've gotten over something, but your heart feels something else. So in that moment, right, there's a disconnect between the head and the heart. The head wants to take you somewhere, the heart knows something else.
Right.
And it is often when we feel lost and we can't connect to our own compass, our own guidance system, which is in the heart. And we are very much conditioned to revere the intellect and the thinking mind over the feeling mind. And
Say that one more time, Helen.
yes, we are more conditioned to revere the thinking mind or the intellect over the feeling mind, which is the heart.
So true.
And
And
if
yes,
it has if
it.
the heart, if you're disconnected, that's most often when we get into this state of confusion, because we don't know, should I go left, should I go right? Because the mind is doing what it's doing, it's giving us all these options. Right? We don't want to leave the mind off the table. What we want is to be of one mind, which is the integration of the head and the heart. They need to work together. But if we're disconnected in some way because we're trying not to feel painful things, we
Right.
end up getting stuck in the loop and being mostly in our head. And they need each other. The head needs the heart needs the mind, the head, the mind, right? They have to work together to accomplish. But we got to feel our way forward. So the literal heartache that you're trying not to feel, you know, I always say the only way out is through. Right? And when we're trying to cope, it's very natural and normal to be like, I'll process that later, thank you. I gotta keep moving, right? And sometimes the wisest thing we can do is to actually slow down and listen and feel. But the mind gets very busy because it's conditioned. It's like, no, we need to be doing this, that. But you know, if like any project, right? There's a, if you don't get clear first, you can expend a lot of time, energy, and money moving in 6,000 directions, trying to find the right path. It's much more efficient and effective to get clarity and then move. Right?
There's so much wisdom coming at me right now. I can't keep up.
It's okay. So let's just pause and let you take that in.
I think
And
that what you
listen,
said though, Helen.
Gail, I'm recording this, so don't, like, when I take notes, I don't know, you might be like me. When I take notes, I'm writing what I'm hearing, but I'm also hearing what's behind. So sometimes there's other stuff coming through, so you'll see me. That's one of the ways I process. If writing is one of the ways you process, feel free. But if it's just that you want to capture everything that's being said here, let that go. You have a recording.
Okay,
Let
because
it.
I'm going to listen to this again. It's just that you hit the nail on the head in about 1,000 ways. Because I think certainly in my family, because I'm thinking about it more right now, I
Mm-hmm.
think certainly in my family, I think we were conditioned more to greatly respect intellect, greatly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't know if it's just my family or the time that I grew up in or our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Um, coming from post-colonial times, it's sort of like having a stiff upper lip. So in other words, whatever feelings you have, you better get over it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because this is what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that in many ways, without consciously thinking about that, I try to think through things intellectually first,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying not to feel through them,
Mm-hmm.
because feelings are, yeah, they're just feelings. But I realize that there are some very deep-seated um, emotions that I haven't processed. And I mean, my father died in 1989,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
that's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But this sense of vulnerability has
Mm-hmm.
stayed with me all of this time, all of this time, through many relationships,
Mm-hmm.
many challenges, many points where I wanted to pivot. And it's like I'm thinking, okay, well, let me think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what would he have thought? Let me see if I can sit still in my mind and think of that voice.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I even get a little frantic when I think that I can't hear his voice,
Mm-hmm.
or would I recognize his voice,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm trying to remember that exact voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
circling back around again. It's like a circle. It's like a circle. It's like a loop.
Yeah. Yes.
And,
Yes. So
but
just
the loop is
just
not helping me
pause.
to come out.
I'm going to invite you to just pause, like just pause and just feel and just breathe and just let that's it's beautiful and it's deep and it's a lot.
I'm trying to get a tissue, Helen. I
That-
realize I'm ill prepared without
That's okay.
tissue, and I can't find it.
You want to go get some?
Um, can we just, can I?
The water, when you're drinking the water, what it does is water is important in processing and communicating and hydrating, and it's how our cells talk to each other, and it's part of the transform. It's really essential to life, the life of our bodies. So being hydrated when you're doing this kind of work is great.
I hardly ever drink water.
Ah, yeah,
Something I have to work on.
yeah, perfect. So as you sit in this place of what I want to bring your awareness to is that you said, I get frantic when I think, right? That I'm not safe,
Whoops.
or I can't hear my dad's voice, or right. So the thoughts precede and evoke emotions as well,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So I think we are so brilliant and we don't realize how brilliant we are. We're always trying to bring ourselves home, to bring ourselves back to that state of homeostasis, that state of alignment, right? And in the ways that we know how. And luckily, as we grow and learn, we become more and more efficient and effective when we learn different tools to do that. But we kind of sometimes overcomplicate it. Yesterday, I posted on Facebook, or a couple of days ago, I don't know, that meditation is the courage to be silent and alone.
Wow.
The person we are most running from in our busyness is ourselves. We don't want to feel those feelings. They scare us. They can feel scary.
That's very true.
And
Very,
it
very
has
true.
such deep insight for us. And the thing is, the thing that makes them scary is just the judgments that we have about them. Like, these feelings are better than those feelings, you know? You shouldn't feel sad or really angry, or, right? And there's just energy, and it needs to move. So I'm going to invite you to get curious for a moment. Let's just pause and let that, everything that I said just now, just let it, it's landed. Trust, it's there. It's in your consciousness, it's in your field, it's on the recording. So let it go and just get present right here and now. Just focus with your breath. Drop back into your body. Feel your belly expand and contract with the breath. Try and get the breath all the way down deep into your belly. Connect with your feminine wisdom, which is deep in your belly, in your womb. And ask your knowing, in this moment, am I safe? And just see what comes up. Don't judge it. It could be yes, it could be no, it could be maybe. Just see what instinctively the answer is. What do you get?
Well, I do feel safe, but I feel safe because I'm with you.
Ah, great. But you didn't drop into my house or my body. You dropped into yours. So you felt the safety, and then your mind interpreted it and said, that's because I'm with Helen and I trust Helen.
Right. But I, because I do.
Yes.
That's true. It's true.
Absolutely. But what I want you to be aware of is that where you felt the safety was inside of you. So it's always being created inside of you. That's all right. That it's messing with your mind right now. Yeah. Can you feel how your mind is kind of like,
Like what?
exactly. I love that.
Like really?
I love that. Because here's
Well,
the thing is, if we don't disrupt the patterns that you've been creating from, if you keep, that's the definition of insanity, right? You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So what the whole point is here is disrupting the patterns and the consciousness and creating different perspectives. Because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
right.
And if you can understand that safety is created inside of you, see, your mind experienced it with your dad. What your dad gave you was a connection to what it feels like to be protected and supported and safe and loved.
In a gentle way, in a
Yes.
kind way, in a
Yes.
considerate way, in an empathetic way, because he wasn't a strong man, meaning a big bully and loud talking
Yeah.
and I yearn, oh, how I just yearn for a kind and gentle space for myself, for my country, for the world. Just I've been thinking about that a lot recently, just thinking, just as how we're taught to revere, as you said, the intellect, we also revere, you know, when people show strength in a different, in an aggressive way. And I thought to myself, well, how can I be stronger for myself? Does it mean that I always have to feel physically strong? Does it mean that I have to come out like, I'm so badass every day as a woman? That's not how I'm feeling. And I think because I'm not feeling that power that we would normally look up to and celebrate, it makes me feel powerless.
And so, what's the truth though? Because what you described just now was that your father exemplified for you, modeled for you a strength that was kind and gentle and soft and loving. And your father was a powerful man.
Quietly powerful, maybe, because
That's true power. Maybe that not the kind of power that we see associated in the world, but I I really want you to hear this. I'm going to give you back your words. You said, I yearn for, first of all, yearning. Where does that yearning come from? Is it coming from your head or is it coming from your heart?
My heart, my
Yes.
heart.
Yes. I yearn for a kind and gentle space for myself, my country, and the world. I'm going to say it again. I want you to drink it in with all of your senses. Let it land on you like a beautiful shawl, so soft and gentle and comforting, right? I yearn for a kind and gentle space for myself, my country, and the world. Wow. Wow. You know what is interesting when you speak from your heart? It lands in people's heart. It landed straight in my heart when you said that.
Thank you.
So just breathe and just take it in. Yes, breathe. And just notice what you are feeling in this moment.
So I'm feeling, it's funny when you repeated those words to me, it almost felt like, oh, wow, that sounds a little bit profound. Could that have come from me? It was like, really? Did I say that? It's almost like I didn't remember that I actually said it till you said it back again. And I went, oh, I just said that. Whoa. So I think,
No?
see, that's already telling me it's because of so much self-doubt, Helen, and lack of confidence that you don't even realize when you say something that may land with
Okay, so
another
let
person.
me point out to you that you just went in
Oh,
again.
repeat
No,
that person.
no, don't
Okay.
apologize. Don't apologize. The whole point, that's part of the value of this kind of a session, right? Is that the only way we can see ourselves is through a mirror. And if you've been habitually doing something, the first thing you need to do is be able to recognize it so that you can start to choose differently and create differently. And so and I'll tell you where, and you'll go back and you'll watch this and it'll be so valuable to you because you'll hear yourself say, I think that, right?
Right.
And what I'd asked you is, what do you feel? So just know that if you have been in the habit of revering this, which you recognize, okay, great. It is what
Yes,
it
I
is.
do.
Not right, wrong, good, or bad. It just is. Okay. Then be in the habit. And one of the things I would say would be useful exercise for you every day is to get up and ask yourself, how do you feel this morning, sweet one? And just write it down. Whatever you feel, no judgment. Whatever it is, there's no shoulds, must, or have tos. There's just how I feel. How I feel. And then release any attachment to it.
Mhm.
And you can actually check in. Sometimes, I'll have a client set a little alarm on their phone and check in. Check in a couple times in the day, maybe at midday, and maybe again at the end of your day. And then you ask yourself, how am I feeling? When you're in a partnership with someone and you might say, honey, how was your day? Nobody teaches us to ask ourselves that.
Yeah, for sure. It's like get on with it.
Right. So,
Yeah, I'm trying.
yeah. So, as I'm going to say it again, because this is something profound, and we're so busy rushing for the next thing that sometimes we don't savor what we have. So I want you to savor this truth that came out of your heart. And I really, as I say it, I want you to see how it makes you feel, not what it makes you think. See how it makes you feel. I yearn for a kind and gentle space for myself, my country, and the world. And just breathe and drop into your body and just see how it lands. I yearn for a kind and gentle space for myself, my country, and the world. When you feel something, you tell me what you feel. If you don't feel anything, then you don't need to speak.
Yeah, no, no. When you said it again, I thought to myself, I mean, I guess when I said my country, I mean also my, I mean my family and my friends.
I want you to
It's
notice
not
that you're
that
telling
I,
me what you
hmm?
thought. I want you to notice that you're telling me what you thought.
Well, okay, I had a feeling like I'd kind of left out somebody. Like I left out that family directly, and I had a feeling like, did you just forget your son who is in
Mm.
turmoil? Did you just forget your son? You, I mean, I have a deep desire for a healing relationship with him, which mirrors that same feeling, a feeling of a safe space, of a
Mm.
kind space, of a loving space, of a space where I can be my authentic self and be a mother to him, the mother that he needs, not a mother that's in my head, an intellectual
Ah.
sort of vision of a mother, but the mother that that his soul needs me to be. And so that's what that made me think about.
What about the mother that your soul needs you to be, or wants, or is? Right? And rather than the construct that you have learned about what a mother should be, right?
Right, right.
Um,
Oh, those are different things.
exactly, exactly. So can you see there's such uh, separation on so many levels, right?
Right,
And the invitation, because every single challenge is comes with an opportunity, and I am a firm believer that the universe is conspiring on our behalf. We are conspiring on our behalf. Our bodies are conspiring on our behalf, right? To create more and more alignment, which is when we drop into that alignment, there is peace, there's joy.
yeah. Oh, wow.
So again, I'm going to have you practice. Just look at the habit. I have this habit too. Trust me, we have the same background, right? We're
Yeah,
very intellect, right?
yeah.
And there's this trust, that there's this distrust. If I don't write it down, I'm going to lose it, right? Or I want to remember that, as opposed to really when you're fully present in the moment with something and you really take it all the way and it's locked into your heart. Not even Alzheimer's can lift it out of there. Alzheimer's and dementia can rob you of lots of that. But when you embody something, it becomes part of your cellular memory. That's how,
It comes from distrust.
exactly. What are you distrusting?
You're holding on to something so tight that what's my tool to hold something? My tool to hold something is to record it, to write it, instead of just feeling it in that moment. And I recognize it now, Helen, now that you brought it to my attention, because I instinctively am always writing, always.
Me too.
So I'm thinking, I'm sitting here going, okay, you don't have to write, remember? There's a recording. Hello. But I wanted to capture it, almost to etch it
Yes.
into my memory, because I don't trust myself. I just realized,
Mm.
you have
Yeah.
trust issues. Well, yeah, they start with you.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think part of the vulnerability and the issue of the vulnerability is a lack of trust. Because I'm
Mm.
thinking, so who else can I trust? So because I trust you implicitly, that's why I had said to you that I feel safe speaking to you.
Mhm. Mhm.
So then the question is, the question maybe I should ask myself is, do I trust me?
Mm.
Like, do I trust myself to be kind and gentle with Gail, this inner Gail, who is
Mm.
deep down, she's hiding somewhere because she's so scared of the Scud missiles.
Mhm.
But they're inevitable because life is going to bring all kinds of things, including some Scud missiles.
Mhm. Mhm.
She's so far behind this wall. In Jamaica, you go to great houses, or like Gillian's mommy's house, Doris's house in Lucy. I just remember that the walls are very, very thick. They're stone.
Mm.
And sometimes I think to myself, not like a concrete block, I mean like stone, like somebody, like that's some serious
Mhm.
stone. And I remember thinking to myself the other day, I'm drawn to old things and old houses. And I thought to myself, you know what I like? It's not just the wooden floors and the furniture, which is amazing, mastery and craftsmanship. It's the stone walls. And I thought to myself the other day, wow, the walls around your heart look like those stone walls. And it was a passing thought. But now maybe I realize it wasn't such a passing thought.
So just pause. Again, another huge insight. So just breathe and feel. Feel that. Feel that. The walls around my heart look like those stone walls. See, when we pause and drop in and feel that, so just breathe, close your eyes and breathe and let this land. Your awareness knew it, you recognized it. The walls around my heart look like those stone walls. So as you see that in your mind, you see yourself driving past and you see the walls and you have the knowing. The walls around my heart look like those stone walls. Tell me what you know about the walls around your heart. How do they look? Describe those stone walls to me that you saw.
Um, they're old, they're aged,
Mhm.
they're not quite as white as they used to be. So, the color is white and beige and brown, but not in an ugly way.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, they're beautifully aged. and they're beautifully aged. But they're there and they're thick and hard and they're impenetrable, and they're preventing hurt and pain and preventing whatever is on the outside that I'm uncomfortable with. It's helping to protect me first and foremost. Those walls are protecting me, so maybe on the outside they look beautiful, but the truth is that they're also preventing, you know, good things to come in. I'm realizing this now as I'm speaking. I mean, I realized this on an intellectual level before, but now I'm seeing it and I'm realizing in my heart that I'm still, after so many years, just preventing more goodness, more light, more love, that sense of community that I feel. And so Gail is hiding behind those stone walls, and hence that sense of aloneness, that sense of deep aloneness, because the walls are very thick. But they're so beautifully aged, and they're just so beautiful. The patina, everything is so beautiful on the outside. So that's what I look at and I like. And I think, oh, it's gorgeous. I can actually feel my hand on them. They're smooth, they're not cutting. They're not going to cut anybody, but it's just, they're impenetrable.
So on the outside, they're smooth and they're beautifully aged and they're patina with all these colors. What do you see on the inside? What do you see on the inside? What do they look like on the inside?
On the inside, it's they're almost bleached out, and like a blank canvas that you have started to paint. There, it's blank, like, oh, I'm just seeing them now though that way. I'm seeing them now. So they're not, I would just describe them as sort of like a blank canvas, waiting to be painted. Waiting, yeah, they're waiting to be, but because nothing can come in, they can't move from that state of being, because it's almost like when you go to Cuba and you see a 1954 Chevy and you think time has stopped. It's almost like they're in a time warp. They're stuck right there. So it's not that they're totally dark or depressing. I keep going back to the thought of a canvas, a blank canvas.
So this part of you that is so freaking wise, it has this awareness and it's able to look on the outside and it's able to recognize and realize, and what does it need? You kept saying the wall is impenetrable. So what does your wisdom know about what you want to happen? What needs to happen so that the canvas can be painted on?
I have to take down that wall. So I would need to take down that wall, and that requires courage. It requires confidence. And it requires clarity, like I'm taking down that wall. What's next? What direction are we going in? So it's funny. It's
I'm
really,
curious. Let me ask you a question. I'm curious because you said it requires courage, confidence, and clarity. Like you have to know, what comes after you take down the wall. That's the mind. You know what comes after you take down the wall because you told me why the wall needs to come down. It's because what comes after you take down the wall is that the inside, you get to paint whatever you like, right? But all the things that it has been keeping out, right? You said you're still preventing more goodness, light, love, that sense of community and connection. That so what comes after that? You take down the wall, you have more connection, you have more light, you have more love, and you have less alone. You know that this fear of the unknown is actually crap. It's actually a non-thing because we can't fear that which we do not know. What we do is we project our fears onto the unknown, the blank canvas called the unknown, and then we fear that. We imagine usually not a very good scenario, which is why we fear it. We could equally project onto the unknown delight, magic, connection, love, success, joy. I know I struggle with the same thing myself, right? Every time I'm expanding, I have this old story. Oh God, it's going to cost me my joy and my health and well-being, because in the past when I've been out of balance and burned out, that's what I experienced. But the truth is that time and time again since then, I have created, every time I've expanded, it brings me more joy and more well-being and more health. So that's the illusion. And in the past, when I created that, I was creating from a different place. I was creating from my head and from my intellect and from my conditioning and just repeating patterns. But when I started to truly choose for myself, from a place of desire, I created different results completely. So again, pause, breathe, exhale, and just go back into your body. Go all the way back down. Let the eyeballs drop back and take you all the way down into the heart, into the stomach, into the womb, into the deep recesses, the wet, fertile soil of your innermost yin, darkness. The yin, the feminine, it's a place of creativity and birth, rebirth. Drop in there and feel. Feel. You don't need to know how to take down the wall. You can choose to be willing. It's just the choice, the decision. And then you trust the process. So the only question you need to answer in this moment is, am I willing to exercise my courage by saying yes, even though I don't know how? In this moment, you have clarity about what you want and why, and what taking down the wall will bring. What if that was enough? And then when you move to the next spot, you'll get clarity where from there. You don't need to know what's happening 10 years from now. You can't. You only have this moment. In this moment, are you willing to take down the wall? And just listen for a yes or a no. You don't have to take it all down in one fell swoop either.
Mm. Good.
Yeah. You could just start dismantling it, one stone at a time, one section at a time. You don't have to do it alone either. But the journey begins with the yes, I am willing, even though I don't know how.
Mm.
What are you aware of? Feeling, not thinking, feeling.
I feel less fearful
Mm. How do you know
because
you're fearful?
I just feel less fear, less anxiety
Yeah.
about dismantling the wall, and also I feel that it's more possible. I feel
Mm.
that there are greater possibilities in how I take down the wall, although I don't know what those are right now. I just feel like I feel a sense of possibility and opportunity
Yeah.
in taking down the wall. So that's the feeling that I have.
Perfect. So I'm going to push you a little bit here, just because this is again another great time and space to practice a different way of engaging with it, because we're accustomed to speaking in terms of what we don't want or what we don't like or what doesn't feel good, right? And so it's literally our muscle that we're working in practicing strengthening. So I feel less fear and anxiety. So what am I feeling more of? Right?
Optimism and
Yeah.
hope.
Yes.
I
Yes.
feel I feel greater optimism. I
Yes.
feel greater hope.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a greater sense of possibilities, new experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And just notice what that feels like energetically, physically, in your body, and where in your body you feel it. This is part of really embodying this new way of being, this new vibration, right? This, because it's like, if I asked you, what does fear feel like? People are like, yeah, it feels heavy. I feel it in my heart, or I feel it in my hip, or feels like a rock in my, right? They can tell you up the yin yang what it feels like, because we're more practiced, literally, in
right.
focusing on that. So my job here is to help you to practice, focus, strengthen their connection to the feelings and the sensations of optimism and hope and possibility, so that we're literally anchoring it in your body, in every cell, in your consciousness, even in your mind. Like, so when you say to your mind, I want to feel more hopeful, it can just go and it can just create it for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So as you feel the possibility and the optimism and the hope and the possibility, just notice, what does that feel like physically in your body? What is the energy doing? What is your
It feels lighter, but I am maybe because I just feel so calm right now. It's not like I'm feeling like I would go run a marathon.
Good.
I feel a greater sense of calmness,
Yes, yes, yes,
peace.
yeah.
I feel more peace, and I feel a sense of I can. Yeah.
So I think that's a great place to stop for today. Um, just breathing it in and anchoring it and saying, noticing, what you like about that and say, yes, I'll have more of that, please. Right? Yes,
Yeah.
more of that.
Oh, loads more, please.
Right? And yeah, so, and then I want you to ask yourself, just check in, just as we started with a check in, we check out with a check in, right? And you just place your hand on your chest and close your eyes and just breathe and just get really present to yourself. And thank yourself for taking the time to listen, to show up for you, to be willing to feel the vulnerability, the lack of trust, to drop into the dark places and spaces and acknowledge and honor the feelings. And what is one small action that you can commit to that will help to anchor this shift that you've achieved today, this connection that you've made with your heart, with yourself, with this part of yourself?
Learning to pause.
Mm,
I have to learn to pause and not think that if I do not react immediately,
mhm.
that it means I'm not in control.
Yes.
So not being so busy reacting, I
Mm,
need to learn that when something is coming at me,
mhm,
I recognize it, I see it. Is it an incoming scud
mhm,
or is it an incoming opportunity? And even if it is a scud, how am I going to respond to it?
mhm,
So I think my response needs to incorporate a moment of pause
mm.
so that I can sort of go, okay, what am I going to do here and now?
Yes.
Because if not, then I'm not responding, I'm reacting
Yes.
because I haven't paused to say, what's happening here? Let me get clarity. What's happening here? Let me
Mm,
ask the question, what is happening?
mhm,
And
mhm.
what am I going to do about it?
Yeah. And how do I feel?
What do I
practice,
feel?
practice dropping
What
in
do I
and just
feel?
naming how you feel. Just naming it, because
I would feel more empowered.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So practice just pausing, and literally one of the things is just to make yourself stop and take a breath. The breath in itself can be the pause and give you that moment to check in and see,
Right.
yeah, check in so that you can respond versus react. That's so empowering and so powerful. You'll be in choice, much more conscious choice.
To
Yeah,
be in choice.
yeah, yeah, conscious choice. And then you'll feel more in control. The more that you're consciously choosing, the more in control you'll feel.
You said something a few minutes ago, which I wrote down. You're saying, when you've been burned out,
Mm-hmm,
you know,
mm-hmm,
um, it was after we were talking about the blank canvas.
mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, maybe I should just be able to admit that I am burnt out.
Mm,
I think it's just been a long journey. And this year feels like it's been extra long.
yeah, yeah. And and what does your wisdom know will help that? Exactly what you just said. Practice pausing and feeling. I want to thank you for taking the time to Be
No,
here.
Helen, I have to thank you. I have to thank you because yes, these feelings that I've had have been, so deeply buried.
Mhm.
And every now and again, I go, oh yeah, I know that feeling. Oh yeah, I just know I need to take down. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
but then I've just moved on, and I've never kind of just sat with it. And vulnerability is something that's very difficult to sit with because it feels so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And when you sit with vulnerability, you feel more vulnerable, not less.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. I have to run.
Thank you.
So, but I
Thank you.
Mwah. Thank you.